Good evening and welcome to the 11th round of our PPG IndyCar World Series Championship. Coming to you tonight for the Living Well Provimi 200 at the Road America circuit. Thank you for bearing with us after some teething issues, trying to get it all working the way it should. But I'm Jonatan Acerclinth, and with me in the booth before the start of the race and during the race, hopefully, is Juha Bos. Good evening, Juha.
Good evening.
Thank you for being with us, and thanks for helping me out in the booth here.
You're welcome.
Cheers. So, the Road America circuit. Road America opened in September 10th, 1955. That is just shy of 70 years ago by 1.5 months, and it's one of the few circuits in the world that has retained the layout of when it first came into working as a racetrack. So it's going to be an interesting one for sure. According to what I've been told, the fuel will be a limiting factor here tonight. Would you agree with that, Juha?
Very much. In qualifying, you're using like 11, 12 liters a lap, but the average you use in the race is just over 9 liters. So yeah, you have to back off, have to either run lower boosts or lift and coast, or a combination of both. So it's going to be interesting to see which drivers have different strategies on that level.
And like always, who can make the best use of their strategy, or who chooses the correct one.
Yeah.
An aspect
one
of that.
One thing to take into account is the track's quite long. Unlike Mid-Ohio, it's a bit more difficult to get another lap out of your tank. Because I've got no idea how you're going to save 11 liters over a lap. But
no, indeed, it's a 4-mile road course. So, like in a real life race, some drivers did misjudge the fuel usage and ended up running out of fuel, but a few of those got lucky to have a tow back to the pits to refuel and re-enter the race. But obviously, for us, that's just a tad bit more difficult. As that is not a thing for us.
I think it's also to do with the nature of the track. I mean, most of it is straight. It's not as twisty as Mid-Ohio. So, I mean, that first sector really eats your fuel out of it.
Indeed, it does. And then, of course, you also have the run from the carousel all the way up to Canada Corner, where it's also more or less completely flat as well.
Yeah, the problem is that most people are going to pit around the same time.
I'd imagine if you can get an extra lap out of the tank, that will be a massive advantage, getting to pit on your own and everything that comes with that. But
I'm just trying to do the maths. That would mean getting 9 laps saved over. No, sorry, 9 liters saved over 17 laps. So that's near. That's quaff.
That is a tall order, yeah.
That's probably doable, but I'm not sure how competitive you'll be during those laps. I mean, I find it very hard to get down to 9 liters, so.
For sure.
Plus, that pit speed limit is horrendously low.
Oh yeah, that's an aspect as well. Pit speed limit, I believe, is 60
kilometers an hour,
or about 37 miles an hour. Quick look at the points before the race starts. We have started a bit late, so we have a minute to go until the race starts. The winner, as always, takes 20 points away from this race. Second gets 16, third 14, fourth 12, fifth 10, and sixth 8. And then it's 6th points for 7th, dropping by 1 point down to 12th, who will score 1 point. Additionally, 1 point is scored for pole position and 1 point is scored for the most laps led. The finishers and non-finishers will score points as long as you are in 12th or above by the time you are retired and stay there until the end of the race. And all rounds count towards the championship, so consistency is key. And speaking of consistency, one of those most consistent in the series as of so far is Grant Riddle, leading the championship after round 10 last time out at Mid-Ohio on 134 points. Jon Tim is second on 113. Anders Nilsson lines up third in the championship on 105 points. Then there's a bit of a gap down to Brian Yannick, who is fourth on 79, and Niklas Kirsten, who is fifth on 76 points. With the time having run down, let's get ourselves over to the racetrack and get ready for the race itself. I would imagine, considering the amount of endurance races that Anders Nilsson has done, he is in a prime position in this race in terms of getting a good finish here. I will also wish you Juha the best of luck, since I'd imagine you will want to be in the quiet room for a little bit during the start of the race. So best of luck, and I hope you have a good race.
Trying to be around you. Thank you, Jonathan. I'll keep you informed about the progress. But if it gets a bit too hectic, I might turn the sound off.
Okie dokie. So a little bit of talk about the track while we wait for all the drivers to join the grid. The track is located on 640 acres of land near Kettle, Moraine, Scenic Drive near Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin, USA. It is also known under the nickname America's National Park of Speed. Something you can definitely understand, seeing as the top speeds before the heaviest braking point at Canada Corner is 175 to 180 miles an hour. As we now are on the formation lap, let's have a look at the grid. Grant Riddle lines up on pole position in his Rainer Racing entry. So he will get 1 extra point in the championship hunt. Niklas Kirsten lines up second on the grid, with Anders Nilsson driving the number 24 Lead Car Races entry in third on the grid. Fourth on the grid is Ruben Fernandez for Patrick Racing, with fifth on the grid for Jon Tim in Craker Racing, number 18. Ray Riddle lines up sixth for Dick Simon Racing, with Giovanni Santorame in a one-off drive in the Doug Shearson Racing entry, lining up in seventh. Richard Wilkes lines up eighth for Gallus Racing in the Brabham Honda powered entry, with Juha Bos, who is with us for the race, in ninth on the grid. Brian Yannick runs out top 10 on the grid for Curb Racing. Jus Bouchard just outside top 10 in 11th on the grid for Penske Racing. David Saber in the Vince Granatelli Racing entry lines up 12th, with Raul Yareb, our Croatian friend, in a one-off drive in the number 23 Dick Simon Racing entry, lines up 13th. Jason White in the Newman Haas Racing entry lines up 14th, with Filippo Marazzi, with the pit lane called, lines up 15th on the grid for Hemmelgarn, and 16th, and I believe, unfortunately for us, the last car on the grid for this evening is Michael Drexler for Penske Racing. So, looking at the track, the drivers have just come through turn 7 and coming down Hurry Downs to turn 8. This left-hander down under the Speedville bridge, and turn 9 and turn 10 at the carousel. A long, continuous, constant radius, positively cambered as well, right-hander. Imperative to be first and early on the gas, but obviously too much gas too early and you will run wide in this on the exit here and lose a lot of time going onto the grass. Down to the kink at turn 11, flat out right-hander, where everything can definitely go wrong, as we saw for Catherine Legg in, I believe it would have been 2009, when the rear wing failed on her car and she had a massive accident there. If you want to, you can definitely see it. She was okay after the crash, thankfully. Down Kettle bottoms here, and then this is the short bit of a straight braking zone into Canada corner. Also a key point with a sharp second gear right-hander. Important to get on the power early, and the entrance speed before the braking point there is 175 miles an hour, possibly a little bit more depending on what wings you are running. And up through turns 13 and 14 here, and getting ready for the start of the race as we come up the hill to the start finish line. Pit entry on the right, where we can see the safety car heading into right now. And so green flag looks to be out, and we are racing into turn 1. Grant Vidal retains the lead. Fernandez up to second, and we have Anders Nilsson up to third. Looks like everyone, thankfully, has gotten through turn 1, and for turn 2 all right. Nilsson up to third, Juha Bos up to fourth, so great start for several of our drivers here. Down towards turn 5, another section of the track where there was a rather substantial accident back in I believe it was 1998, a bit of a lockup, but we can see that Drexler looking for a move at the top of the hill, not quite able to make it on Jason White. Drexler remains in 16th at the moment. You can see here, Juha Bos actually up to third, so Ruben Fernandez must have run wide up at the top of the hill there.
Four actually.
Pardon?
On the corner before.
Oh, so at turn 5. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Juha. So, side by side on the exit back there between Kirsten and Fernandez. Side by side for the kink. Hold on to your hats. Kirsten a little bit wide, but he holds on to it, and past he goes up to 4th position. What a immense pass that is. He must have had a bit of a pucker moment going onto the grass on the exit of the kink there. That looked very, very sketchy indeed. Jason White with a bit of a lockup coming into Canada corner, but it looked like he has stayed on the grey stuff and is able to continue. John Tim in the meantime in 6th at the moment, followed by Buchard up to 7th, Centorame in 8th, Ray Vidal in 9th, and Richard Wilkes dropping to 10th from his starting position in 7th. Brian Yannick also down 1 position in 11th at the moment, with Sabre in 12th, Marazzi 13th, Jareb in 14th, Jason White 15th, and Michael Drexler in 16th. Grant Vidal already with a 1.5 second lead over Anders Nilsson in 2nd, and Juha Bos being pursued by Niklas Kirsten. As we come down the Moraine sweep, and a small kink there is apparently turn 4 according to the layout.
It's already got me.
Oh dearie me, that looks like a boost pass. As past Kirsten goes up into 3rd place. As we make our way down into turn 5 and up the hill to turn 6. That looks to be a bit of a battle developing as well back there in what I think is 7th and 8th. It is as, look at that. Richard Wilkes sneaking up the inside of Centorame into the carousel. And looks like Wilkes is able to hold the inside line despite the dirty air from behind Buchard, and up to 8th he goes, Centorame down to 9th. And Ray Vidal now looking for a chance to go by Centorame as well. is looking like a very nice little battle pack. Buchard 7th, with Wilkes in 8th, and Rame 9th, Lidl 10th, and Brian Yannick just slightly a little bit further behind there. Ooh, as Wilkes runs wide, as did Fernandez, it looked like. No, Centorame, that is. My apologies. And Ray Riddle with a better exit. Slingshots past Centorame, so Centorame down to 10th. Ray Riddle up to 9th. Ooh, and up ahead, Wilkes looking for the inside move on Buchard. Ooh, a bit of contact. Both of them looking for the same piece of track. That's... Yikes. Oh no, contact again. None of them wanted to give an inch. And looks like Buchard might have some damage to his car there. I'm not sure Wilkes got away with that either. Looks like Wilkes holds on for now. Buchard, ooh, a lock up. Apologies, getting a bit too excited here. Let's ride aboard and look behind as Richard Wilkes continues, and he has called the pit lane. I wonder if that is just a in-game thing, or if it's actually like the game automatically doing it, or if he actually has called for the pit lane. We'll have to wait and see, but he looks to be pulling away from Buchard at the moment. Looks like he's striking with a bit of understeer in the carousel, as looks like Ray Riddle with a bit of a run. Trying to go up the inside, but Buchard cuts him off and remains in front. Let's see if Ray might be able to do something down at Canada corner. Doesn't look like it, but Centorame diving for the inside. Not quite able to make it work. Brian Yannick now with the exit speed, slingshotting past Centorame and up into 9th place. No, 10th place, my apologies. I am clearly a bit flustered here, as Ray Riddle now is able to get by Buchard at the final turn, at turn 14. And let's see if Buchard might be able to counter-attack down at turn 1 after this. A long front straight, not quite. Buchard locks up and slows down. And now with Brian Yannick right in behind. Like Wilkes has indeed continued, so that must have been the game automatically saying maybe we need to pit. Looks like Anders has just slightly closed in on Grant up ahead, as Buchard looks down the inside. Ray down at turn 5, not able to make it work. Oh no! Buchard locks up into the gravel, into the tire barrier, and lost the front wing. That is a very easy mistake to make. Let's jump on board with the T-cam and see how that happened. Ooh, just a bit too late on the brakes, it looked like, and unfortunately the wall was right there waiting for him. But able to get back to the grey stuff, but obviously slower than he would want without that front wing. So Drexler with that up to 15th, Jason White up to 14th, Jareb up to 13th, and he is fairly close to Marazzi, so maybe that is a battle to come later on. Saber as well, now catching up to Centorame and Yannick. As Ray now has some clean air both in front and behind, as has Wilkes, as Kirsten sets the fastest lap. And 1:55.152. That is a very blistering lap, considering the limited fuel that the drivers have to use each single lap. That being said, actually, now that there looks to be just a bit of a lull in the action, let's have a quick look at the specifics for that. Each car, as usual, is allowed an unlimited set of tires for the event, being qualifying, warm-up and the race that is going on right now. And each car is limited to 3 full tanks, as Juha mentioned earlier, which equals 122.36 used gallons, or just a smidge over 463 liters. and everyone will have to start with a full tank. And
I'd say Anders and Grant are quite close to each other now.
Yep, I had
Sorry
that
to
in the
interrupt you.
background and they have indeed closed up. So let's follow this now, as Nilsson chases after Grant with all. And while we're seeing this, kart, as a sanctioning body, visited this track from 1982 to 2004. With a 1-year hiatus before returning in 2006 and 2007, before the merge at the end of 2007 between kart and the IRL, forming the IndyCar series that we see nowadays. That series has been visiting this track since 2016. And this race, at least in the modern day and back then, always put up some really good racing, as unfortunately Bouchard has decided to retire the car after that off we saw earlier. So it looks like maybe Grant is running just slightly lower wing than what Anders is, because Grant pulled quite a bit of gap on the start-finish straight. But down here in the braking zone we can see Anders clearly a little bit later on the brakes by the looks of things, and definitely closing in through this more twisty section. So that is also an aspect of this track. Do you... Ooh, Grant running wide, definitely clearly running slightly lower wings, meaning the car is a bit more sketchy, as he is wide again on the exit there. Nilsson looking to go around outside at the carousel. With his higher wing setup, it might actually work. Yes, it does. Anders up into first. Grant with 2 mistakes after each other down to second, and Kirsten closing in behind. Let's see what Grant can do now on the really fast runner. Look at that difference in top speed. Grant side by side with Anders. Can he brake later than Anders? No, I don't think so. Can Anders hold it around outside at Canada corner? Oh, respectful from both of them, leaving each other enough room, but Grant is back past up into the lead. And with, oh, nearly into the back goes Anders on Grant, because Grant clearly takes the last corner slower than what Anders does. And now Kirsten has really caught up with the pair of them. So now Anders is in trouble, because I believe Kirsten also is running a slightly lower wing setup. I noticed a bit further back as well, Marazzi and Jareb had a battle, but it looks like Jareb has passed Marazzi. Other than that, it looks like it is status quo for the rest of the field.
I've got the impression Fernandez is closing in on me, but...
As may be, but you have at least not swapped positions yet.
Won't take long.
but thank you for letting me know.
I'll give a few laps and he'll be knocking on my door.
Well, we will follow this lead battle for a little bit longer, and we will go back to the trio of you guys, Bos, Fernandez and Tim, who are running 4th, 5th and 6th in this race. But look at this, Anders right up the gearbox of Grant once again as we head into the carousel. But Grant with no mistake through the turns before this time is still ahead and will presumably remain ahead of Anders Nilsson as we go down through the kink and Kettle bottoms on the way to Canada corner. Look at that, Anders actually staying quite close in the slipstream. Maybe if he can get a good enough run out of the final turn, he will be able to get by Grant either at turn 1 or more preferably maybe for him at turn 5. He's definitely with a good run through the turn. Let's see if he can stay in the slipstream this time and remain close behind. The crash I talked about at turn 5 as Kirsten with a great run instead slipstreaming up the inside and past Anders up into second. So the double slipstream working wonders for Kirsten down the front straight. The crash I talked about at turn 5 was a 1998 crash between, would have been, let's see, Colton is the son. So Brian Herta was following his teammate Bobby Rahal, who was the driver in this number 1 machine in this race in real life, battling for the first place here. Bobby Rahal was leading that race, Herta was second, and Herta almost ran into the back of Bobby Rahal on the braking for turn 5. Herta, not wanting to take out the team leader, locked up, span, and stalled stationary on the outside on the entry to the turn, a bit further towards the runoff, with the shortcut that is one of the layouts at this place. While he was looking to get help from the marshals, further up the hill, coming down to that braking zone, as, look at this, the battle is on for the lead, so let's look at this for a moment. Kirsten with a good run through the kink, down Kettle bombs, down into Canada corner. Who will break the latest? Looks like Grant did. Can he hold around outside? Yes he can. Does he get the exit? Yes he does, so he remains in the lead. Further up the hill towards the start of the braking zone for turn 5, everyone else could see that something was going on up ahead, and I can't remember the first name, but Barron was the last name of the driver.
Alex Barron.
Sorry?
I think Alex Barron.
Alex Barron, thank you. As Kirsten slipstream past and takes the lead down the front straight. Alex Barron got caught out because he couldn't quite see far enough ahead to what was going on up ahead as others slowed. He effectively swerved to avoid the driver slowing down in front of him, made contact with the wall, and then skidded down the wall and effectively mounted Brian Herta's car, effectively running, like stopping on top of the car. And Brian Herta was stuck in the car until they could get Alex Barron's car down, as Kirsten taking the defensive line into turn 5. Grant with the better line through. Ooh, really close up at turn 6. Looks like Kirsten just barely holds on for the lead at the moment.
Position swaps going around just behind me.
Oh, it has indeed. Let's see what happened here. Oh, it happened a little bit earlier. Looks like... let's see. Looks like Fernandez had a lackluster turn 3 there. Oh yeah, a little bit too deep and wide, with Jonatan getting the better run out of it and effectively just driving past him down the straight. So now Jonatan really close to Juha Bos, so let's follow this for a little moment as the gap has opened up at the front of the field.
He's already passed me, but he ran wide.
Ah, okay.
And I overtook them both again on the straight.
Dear me. So that happened while we were checking out what happened to Ruben earlier. So let's see what Jonatan can do here. Fighting for the championship honors. Lying second in the championship. As, look at that, Niklas Kirchner, 54.8. Absolutely blistering lap times. Juha Bos running a little bit wide there, onto the grass. Looks like Jonatan will be able to, with better exit there, be able to drive past. Yes, he can. Can Juha do counter-attack down at turn 5? Looks like he lost a bit too much pace down the straight there, so Jonatan up into 4th. But already 11.5 seconds behind Anders Nilsson, Kirsten and Vidal, as Grant Vidal has gotten back into the lead. so he slipstreamed past on the start-finish straight and then held on to it down at turn 5. Yannick has passed Centorame in the battle for 9th and 10th. They are still running together. And Jason White has passed Marazzi, and Jareb has dropped behind both of them. And it looks like Marazzi and Jareb is still fighting, so let's watch these two for a little bit. Let's actually jump on board with Jareb's car, looking ahead towards Filippo Marazzi and the Hamilton car. Looks like Jason White up ahead is struggling with some flat-spotted tires, locking up on the way into Canada Corner. Marazzi a little bit wide there on the exit of turn 14. Maybe Raul can do something down the start-finish straight. Looks like he's definitely sizing up the Italian. Up the inside he goes. Cleanly passed before the brakes on. Ooh, Marazzi locked up and almost into the back of Jareb. Good avoidance for Marazzi there. Oh, look at this. Definitely struggling with flat-spotted tires is Jason. I hope he is able to hold on until lap 17 when he can pit for new tires. Meanwhile, Saber running 11th at the moment. Almost 14 seconds behind Centorame, who is still holding on to the back of Brian Yannick's curb racing entry. David All running on his own in 8th at the moment. 6 seconds in the rears in front and 4 seconds ahead of the cars behind. Wilkes likewise, nearly 6 seconds ahead of Ray and just over 4 seconds behind Ruben Fernandez, who is trying to get to grips with Juha Bos, and further up the road John Tim, who has opened up a bit of a gap now. Oh, and side by side through turn 1, Kirsten with Anders Nilsson on his inside. It's on for young and old at the front of the field. It's hard to imagine they are actually making the fuel up front. It's looking like such a frantic run.
I think Fernandez is looking at me.
He's definitely having a bit of a look, but decides against going for the full-on dive, which I think was one of those discretion is the better part of valor. And also noticeable behind, Wilkes is actually closing in to the pair of Fernandez and Bos. The presumed better fuel efficiency might be paying dividends for Wilkes. Now that the fuel has also burned off a little bit, maybe that Brabham Honda engine is pulling just a bit better than it did before. As Fernandez with a great run, he is of course using the Ilmore power plant. You are with the rain fade. The Cosworth. Oh, as Fernandez diving up the inside there at turn 13. That was very brave and almost stupid, but he made the move work.
Very lucky I saw that one coming.
Quite so, quite so. Maybe that is one of those, Ruben is seeing that Wilkes is really closing in quick, and he felt that, well, I need to make the move here, otherwise I'll be passed by Wilkes as well. Bos down to 6th, Wilkes still 7th, but closing in, Fernandez up to 5th. And John Tim with a 4.5 second gap to the group behind. Meantime, Anderson's dropped a little bit further behind. Kirsten back into the lead, ahead of Grant Riddall now. Clearly slipstreaming really working for Kirsten and Riddall, but both of them clearly must be running lower wing than Anders, because Anders have been running in the double draft and not able to make a move.
What shit?
Oh, Bos a little bit deep. Esmarazzi has unfortunately retired as well. I wonder what happened to Filippo. Aye, that looks like Canada corner to me. Yes, it is. Coming down Kettle bottoms. Very fast entry. Oh dear, yes, very too late on the brakes, unfortunately. Heavy contact with the barrier. And unfortunately that's the end of Filippo's race here tonight. I'm still really close behind Yannick. Wilkes now maybe with a bit of a run on Bos coming down Kettle bottoms towards Canada corner. Definitely had a run, but he decided that this is not the place or the time. Kirsten with a fast lap, a 53.0. Holy moly, opening up a 1.5 second gap to Grant now. Kirsten clearly enjoying the car, lighter than it was at the start of the race.
Wilkes is going for it.
Yep, just catching up to it. Wilkes very much quicker down the straight. So Juha Bos down to 7th, Richard Wilkes up to 6th. And let's see what he can do. 1.8 seconds to catch up to Fernandez up ahead for Wilkes. About 3 more laps for the drivers to be certain to make the fuel limit targets of 17 laps a tank.
It'll be interesting to see if everybody really goes to pit, or somebody managed to stretch it out.
If they do, that is an impressive run, but I wouldn't put it past some of these drivers. They could very well do a, in modern day, Scott Dixon. He is very good at making fuel in the IndyCar races, as was Scott Pruitt back in the day as well. And is looking up the inside at turn 1. And is clearly with fresher tires now, I'd say, with running more wing than what Grant and Kirsten are doing. So it looks like Grant is just struggling a little bit with the consistency and speed at this point in the race. I can mention as well about this track, maybe not, because Grant runs wide at turn 6 and is trying to look for the inside line through 7, but not able to make that work. This track here as Road America has hosted some and most of the greatest series on the American peninsula, North American continent as such. Obviously modern day IndyCars, but also kart, IMSA Sports Car Championship, they still visited today. NASCAR Cup and Xfinity, Trans Am, Can-Am and the Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Racing Series, and also the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. from what I've understood from a friend who's doing some of that, it's effectively as pretty much as grassroots as you can get in America in terms of racing. Fairly cheap machinery, still fairly quick, many good drivers, a lot of fun for most of those that take part. Look at this, Grant and Anders closing in on Kirsten now. Oh, and Grant wide at turn 3, Anders up the inside. Let's see what Anders can do down the straight. And especially at the braking point down here at turn 5. Will he be able to make something of this? Not quite. Grant still with a lot of overspeed down the straight. Looks like Kirsten might actually be running on lower boost now because he was slower down the straight than what Grant was, but he was quicker earlier. So maybe just realizing that, oh, I'm a bit tight on fuel. Because they need to make this and one more lap to make the fuel target.
I'd say this lap's enough, really.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
So completing 16 laps would be enough. Okay.
Yeah, and 17 on the next stint.
Ah, I see. So let's see if any of them pit this time by or if they go one more lap.
I'm down to 8 because Ray overtook me.
He did. Yannick still ahead of Center Armour though. Saber still there. White 12th. Jeremy 13th and Dexler 14th. Let's see. Kirsten in, Riddall in and Nilsson in. All of them in at the same time. Oh, Grant locking up into the pits. Yikes. Trying to gain everything he could into the pits there. Let's see which of them is quicker in this pit stop. And look at that, this slow speed in the pits. That must be absolute torture, especially considering the speed you had when you came into the pits. Oh, Fernandez actually going for an extra lap. Wow. So let's see, Anders stopped first. There comes Jon Tim as well. One of the good things though, with everyone more or less stopping at the same time here, the pit lane is at least wide and large. As Wilkes comes in, Nilsson out and Grant with a faster pit stop and Kirsten still stationary. So Grant beats Kirsten out. So Fernandez leading, but on the aggregate, Grant in the lead, Kirsten second, Nilsson third. Let's see if Jon Tim comes out of the pits first. That he does, here he comes. And let's see if Fernandez overcut gamble is working. Wilkes out in 6th place. Will be 5th later on. Grant and Juha together out of the pits there.
No, Ray.
Oh, Ray, sorry. I saw Riddall and it's just one of those things. Yannick and Centorame together as well.
Ray runs wide, run. Ooh.
Dear me, cold tires for Ray. Difficult to control and a bit too much speed into turn 3. There goes
I think
Yannick
it put a
past.
wheel on the grass actually, on the braking.
Oh, even that. Well, that could still have been a bit of tweaking of the settings, and that is very easily done as a mistake. Saber out in 11th. Looks like Jason White is pitting in 12th, or coming out in 12th here actually. As is Jereb in 13th, just behind him. Jason a bit slow on the exit. Ooh, almost contact between Jereb and White, but both of them get out of the pits safely. And here comes Fernandez into the pits. Meantime, Grant is extending the lead just a little bit on Kirsten and Nilsson. Let's see where Fernandez comes out of the pits after his stop here. There goes Drexler out to the pits in 14th. Here comes Grant. Kirsten up to 2nd then, Nilsson up to 3rd. And Fernandez now in 4th place. Looks like he actually gained a bit of time from that.
Is going to benefit him.
Oh, for sure. He gained time on the leaders as well from all of that. So that is very impressive indeed. Scenic now well ahead of Santarama at the moment. Ray just behind him. Oh, and Fernandez a little bit wide on cold tires, dropping a bit of time. Hi Dabil, nice to have you along with us. Looks like Kirsten is closing in on Grant. Only by a little bit, but still getting closer is getting closer, as Nilsson unfortunately has dropped further as they are closing in on Drexler, our first lappee in this race. And Jereb has passed Jason White after they exited the pits fairly close together. Probably won't see a lot of lapping in this race, but the track is very wide, but obviously everyone is more or less at the same pace. You don't really want to, since you're also looking for fuel, you don't want to boost up to get by either, but it looks like the leading duo is able to get past Drexler on the front straight without too much issue. Which is good to see. I take it, Juha, you ran just a little bit wide on the last turn there.
Bit of oversteer, but I'm getting a bit closer to Wilkes, but small bits, like 1 or 2 tenths a sector.
Well, that's still closing in. That's good stuff. See, Yannick still with a big gap to now. Ray Vidal has gotten past Santarame, so Ray up to 9th, with Santarame back to 10th, where he was before the pit stops. Sabre still 11th. Jareb ahead of White in the battle for 12th and 13th. As Jason runs just a bit wide at Canada Corner. Looked like he locked up and couldn't quite get the car slowed down enough to where he was happy to take the corner. And look at this, Kirsten now right up behind Grant Vidal. Let's jump on board and look back over the rear wing towards Kirsten and see what this stint's battles has in store for the leading duo. You can see here how bumpy the start-finish rate actually is as we ride on board. Kirsten having a bit of a look down at turn 5. Not able to make it work, and Nilsson dropping further behind as Grant and Kirsten battle it out for the lead. Kirsten really close now. Maybe he will make a move down at Canada Corner. Grant going defensive down Kettle bottoms, taking the inside line down to Canada Corner. Kirsten breaking late around the outside. Oh, both of them again giving each other room. Kirsten with a bit of a quick outside line slips past. Kirsten back into the lead. Grant down to second. Let's take a lap on board with Grant Vidal as he is tailing Kirsten, actually looking to go by at the end of the straight here. He does, so let's jump on board on Kirsten's T-cam as we go through turn 1. This little mere kink here is turn 2. The braking zone quite heavy into turn 3. Quite imperative to get a good exit here. Grant all squarely on the exit, but getting the power still. Down the Moraine sweep and through a little bit of a kink at 4. Then this downhill braking zone, very tricky to get the braking right as we enter turn 5. Up the hill and into turn 6. Very tricky to get the turn in for this left-hander correct. Through turn 7 and down, hurry downs, this downhill section. Into another heavy braking zone as turn 8. Then set up, down under the Speedville bridge into the carousel, turn 9 and 10. Grant partly parking the bus there. Looks like Kirsten was very early on the throttle through the kink at 11 and 11A, this little right kink. Down Kettle bottoms and Kirsten again looking for a move. Canada Corner, turn 12. Grant holding on to the lead this time through turn 13. Very easy to run, just a bit too wide there. And down into turn 14, the final turn of this 4-mile Road America circuit. Kirsten again now with a good opportunity through the kink, down Kettle bottom, and into Canada corner. Decides against it this time. Maybe not quite the overspeed he wanted. Kirsten running wide, nearly making contact with the tyre barrier there on the exit of turn 1. Fortunate to get the car back on the grey stuff. And Anders Nilsson in the meantime behind, actually closing in to this lead battle. See if Kirsten can time a better run this time. Looks like he has. Will he be able to make use of it though? Not quite, it doesn't look like. Looks like he has decided to hold back there. Look for another opportunity. Kirsten, I think, missed a gear on the start-finish straight there. But on to lap 25, there you go.
Wacht even.
Not quite yet able to make any new inroads on Grand Rideau. So with that in mind, so that you have something to ponder for the rest of the race, the trivia question. So the question for you tonight is, which driver holds the kart official race lap record at Road America, this 4-mile road course? Is it A, Alex Zanardi, B, Jimmy Vasser, or C, Sebastian Bourdais? The answer will come later in the race. Does look like Grant has put the pedal to the metal for a little bit, so let's go back and take a bit of a look at the battle between Jareb and Jason White. Assistant has arrived as well. There we are, now she's seated and able to see as well. As up ahead as well, I notice it's very close between Jon Tim and Ruben Fernandez. So Fernandez presumably struggling a little bit, running on the same low fuel strategy on this stint by the looks of things, and maybe speeding up in the last stint, but that means he is now under pressure from Jon Tim. And look at that down the straight. Jon Tim, even with a shaky exits, just flying by the Patrick racing car. Interesting thing to watch actually, what Ruben can do in the final stint, because obviously he is using the Ilmore power plant, as that was someone heading to the pits, I think. Oh, Drexler into the pits.
Excellent.
Question is why? Doesn't look like the car is damaged at all. But in for a pit stop he is, at least. Looks like Ray is now closing in on Yannick, and likewise for Centorame. So this trio is having been pulled apart after the pit stops. Now that we're beginning to near the second set of stops, they are actually getting closer to each other again. A bit like an... And Juha likewise is still steadily making inroads. Oh, as I say that, running a bit too tight and then a bit wide on the exit, but have been making constant inroads on Wilkes. Fernandez not dropping too far behind Jon Tim just yet. In the meantime, Kirsten is being closed in on by Anders, and Grant has left them both further behind as well. Ooh, as looks though like Grant had a bit of a kerfuffle with lapping. That is Jason White and Raul Jareb. They were engulfed in their own battle, so maybe Grant got a bit impatient and tried something that he shouldn't have, but he is at least still able to keep running, as is Jason White and Raul Jareb. So let's see if Kirsten can make his way by Jason here. Looks like he will. Ooh, almost a bit too fast into camera corner there. Oh, and there's Anders Nilsson as well, really quick through turn 13. And looked like he may have just had to check up a little bit as to not run into the back of Jason White, but they all survive it, and there goes Grand Prix by Raoul Jereb to put him a lap down as well. There goes Kirsten by Jereb as well. And now, unfortunately for Anders, he catches Jereb in a bit of a troublesome spot. But is able to make it by and not lose too much time doing that.
Wilkes has run wide.
Ooh, let's jump back to... Ooh, as Fernandez tries to make his way past Drexler there and gets a bit too close for comfort. As Wilkes indeed has dropped quite a bit of time. So let's follow this for a moment. And see if Bos can make any further inroads on Wilkes. While we've been watching Juha there. The leading trio has closed up, possibly due to lapping David Saber there, but yet still they have accordioned together again. And just like last stint, looks like Anders Nilsson is going quicker than the two of them this late in the stint. As Kirsten now with a run down the front straight, not quite able to make it work. But the leading duo again running nose to tail. As David Saber has retired. We just saw him a little while ago. What happened? Oh dear, that looks like an off. Let's see, where is that? That is at Canada Corner. Going through the right-hander, running wide over the curb, onto the grass. Trying to rejoin, and a bit too much power, spins up the rear wheels, and the car slams into the inside barriers, unfortunately. And that is, unfortunately, the end of the race for David Saber. That is so easy to do. Because these cars have so much power. As Kirsten has gotten by Grant there. Happened down on the run to Canada Coma. Oh, Grant runs wide at the final turn. Can Anders do anything about this? Doesn't look like it. Anders is clearly quick, but seems to be quick, unfortunately for him, in the wrong places due to the direction he has taken with the setup, I'd assume. Oh, as Fernandez has gotten by, yes, as John Tim is actually into the pits already on this stint. Yikes, that'll be a rather long last stint for him, but maybe he's going for the 17 lap stint. No, he'll have to make 18 laps work from here. That is a long stretch to make that work.
Well, Fernandez made it.
Oh, he did, but that sounds like a fairly dangerous tightrope to walk.
Oh, shit. Ugh. All the effort to catch Wilkes and I run wide. Of all of this, all of here and this and that, or however you want to put it. Keep me busy for the end of the race then.
And
Unless he doesn't pit now, in case I'm ruined.
we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But into the pits comes the leaders. And is again the first one to stop in his stall. Let's see who exits first here. As Fernandez actually goes long again, so he is clearly saving fuel. Here comes Nilsson out of the pits. Let's see, looks like he will be out before Grant this time. Just barely. And both of them looks like they will beat Kirsten out of the pits. Oh, this will be tight on the pit exit. Nilsson and Grant side by side on the exit. Grant with the inside line into turn 1, but he looks to be running deep on cold tires. Nilsson with the cutback, Nilsson back in the lead. Or aggregate lead, because Fernandez is currently still leading, but he still has to pit for the final time. Let's see if Nilsson can hold on this straight. He might be able to make something of this, but he needs to hold on at the end of the straight down at turn 5. But Grant so much quicker down the straight line. Look at that, already passed. Can Anders outbrake him down into turn 5? No, he can't. Anders looking up the inside at turn 6. Anders really wanting to try and get by right here, because he knows if he can get ahead here, he has an opportunity to open the gap enough to where he can then hold on and open up enough of a gap to where he can hold on to the lead. Here comes Kirsten as well, so Anders in trouble because Kirsten is quicker down the straight line.
I think Jason White may have crashed.
Oh, he has
Cold
indeed
tires.
retired. Let's see what happened to Jason. Coming down, Moraine sweep down in towards turn 5. That looks like a disconnection for Jason, unfortunately. What rotten luck. As the leaders were coming past on the straight, and Nilsson has dropped to 3rd. Kirsten passed, and that looked very close on the entrance to turn 1. Like we usually say, when you have a disconnection, we shine that down to the more or less the 5-pence parts on the cars that sometimes fail, like the was it a washer on Al Junior's car, I believe, at Indy one of the years when he was very close to winning the race back then. Or like an electrical failure where the car just suddenly stops. Such as the Subaru Rally team had that happen in 1997, I believe that was. On several rallies. Which, if I remember correctly, came down to a relatively cheap part, but they had trouble finding it, as Kirsten, with a great run through the kink, up the inside towards Canada corner, outbreaks Grant, up into current 2nd, but will be the lead in, I'd say, about half a mile's time. Yes, through the final turn. Ruben has pitted now.
Jesus.
Yeah, Ruben has gone really long here, so maybe he will have a lot of fuel to burn by the time he exits the pits. Oh, as Grant slips back past down the front straight, Kirsten looking up the inside on the braking to turn 1. But Grant holds on. And Anders must be looking at these two and thinking, well, hell, go for it, guys. I'm happy to remain back here and let you guys dish it out, and I can take the advantage when or if something happens. Look at that, Anders right with them now through turn 6. When Kirsten trying to get a run through that turn, didn't happen. Nielsen almost into the back of Kirsten. Nielsen trying to go round outside at turn 7. It's turn 8, sorry, and he holds on to it down into carousel. Let's see if Kirsten might be able to go round outside. I don't think he should be able to, but maybe he does. He has an overlap and Grant is slow. Oh, and contact. Kirsten onto the grass, holds on to the car back on the grey stuff. Nilsson now with an opportunity on Grant down into Canada corner. Not quite able to make it work. Let's see if Anders can get a good run through here and remain close and stay in the slipstream and not get slipstream passed by Kirsten. Look at that, just the difference in speed on the last turn, and then down the straight. Grant just sails away from Nielsen, and Kirsten likewise just sails up to the back of Nielsen, and up the inside Kirsten goes. But Anders late on the brakes into turn 1, holds on. His higher wings clearly helping in the turns. Let's see what happens here. Down Moraine sweep. Looks like Kirsten already looking up the inside. Dips back behind, and Nilsson taking a normal racing line. Oof! It's again on for the young and old here at the front of the field. Yikes, that was quite close in that little kink. Oh, Grant a little bit wide through 6. Now at 7, can Anders do a similar thing to what he did last time? Oh, Grant wide. Anders around, looking to go around that side. Grant just barely blocks it. Oh, Grant sideways. Anders looking around outside into the carousel. On the marbles, can he hold on? Can he get the power down? Yes, he can. He's still on the outside. Side by side towards the exit. Both of them stay on the grey stuff. Can Anders do anything down the straight? No, he can't. Grant up the inside. Past in the kink, and now Anders looking for any opportunity he can, as is Kirsten in behind him.
Has anything happened to Fernandez? Because I just overtook him.
Oh, he has indeed dropped further back. Let's see what's happened. Let's see, he was battling with Wilkes, but he was further up before that. Oh, he had a bit of a spin. He had coming through turn 3, he went wide onto the grass, a bit too much power, span to the inside. Then Wilkes got by. Let's see if anything more happened down at turn 5 for Fernandez. Oh, Fernandez looking up the inside of Wilkes, down into turn 5, and he ran deep and spun. So 2 spins for Fernandez in the space of just a few corners. As Nilsson now has been passed by Kirsten. So it's a case for Anders where he is quick enough, but not in the right places. And unfortunately, with the demise of Jason White, it means those that are still running will score at least 1 point tonight. Currently Drexler with 1 point, Jereb with 2, and Sendrame with 3. That's really unfortunate, Jason. Hopefully that'll be possible to sort out ahead of the next event after our summer break. And Kirsten now with a run coming out to the carousel through the kink. Can Kirsten make the move at Canada corner once again on Grant? Looks like Riddle is looking for the defensive line. Nope, he actually ducks to the left. Kirsten hard up the inside. Can he get the car stopped? Yes, he can. Will Grant get the run out of Canada corner? Sort of, but not good enough. Kirsten holds on and up into the lead he goes. Grant down to second.
Fernandez has gone off twice again.
Oh dearie me. Very much struggling by the looks of things. As is Grant. I think he ran deep there. I was looking at other things, but I think he ran deep at the last turn and dropped further behind Kirsten because of that. But again, Nilsson just not quite quick enough down the straights to make anything work on either Grant nor Kirsten. But maybe this time, if he can stay close enough. He actually decides to not be in the slipstream early, as with all... Oh, now he's in the slipstream. Look at that! Looks like Nilsson has finally decided that, yeah, I want to go by ya. Looks like, I'd assume he upped the boost, and now he wants to open up the gap and catch back up to Kirsten, because Kirsten took off like a scolded rat after getting
Fernandez
past
is out.
Grant there. Oh, Fernandez is out indeed. Let's see what's happened. Oh, with one more spin. Looks like he was late on the brakes into Canada corner. Yeah, too late on the brakes. Still braking as he turned in. Lost the rear and out hard into the outside barrier. So unfortunately Fernandez with the retirement, but he'll at least get 1 point for his efforts tonight. Let's see here. Looks like Kirsten still is currently opening up the gap. We'll have to wait and see. Can Kirsten make the tires last? And can Anders have enough speed through this curvy section to stay ahead of Grant, because Grant is closing. Unfortunately for Anders, I think Grant is close enough to have a go at this. We definitely was close enough to have a go, but don't know if Anders maybe did a little something to the boost, or if Grant just decided that, nah, I'll do it on the next straight. Not sure what Kirsten's plan is, but he has clearly very much taken off here. But in the meantime as well, a battle going on in behind is Yannick and Ray Riddle. They were closer than this, but I think Ray may have just dropped a little bit of time down at Canada corner, or 13 or 14. It looks like Ray has dropped away. And it looks like Anders now comfortably in second with a gap to Grant, and maybe now he can work on the gap that is 3.6, 3.7 to Kirsten up ahead. Anders really just needs to stay close enough to where the final 5 laps Kirsten might struggle with the tires, and Anders can close back up and have a go. Meanwhile, I think Grant is happy to finish third, all things considered, because Jon Tim, his championship rival, is currently behind. 40.5 seconds behind, to be exact. That is a massive gap around this track. That is give or take about a second a lap. For one reason or another, that Tim is slower than Grant. That is some incredible pace at the front of the field. And behind Jon Tim we have Richard Wilkes, who has had a couple of very good races, but I mean, fifth is still good, but not quite as good as the previous races has been. But still, I think Richard will be happy to finish, if he can bring the car to the end, in 5th place. We have Juha Bos, who, after the attentions of Fernandez earlier, now looks to again try to close in on Richard Wilkes up ahead. So pretty much back to what it was before the pit stops. And him, Yannick is still with Ray Riddle close behind, battle for 7th and 8th.
I suppose Jon Tim's dropping back because he pitted the lap earlier.
Yes, I'd assume he is now running very much to a fuel target that he is trying to meet, because he needs to make one extra lap compared to what Ruben was able to do on his 2 stints, so very much having to run careful now.
Oh, it's busy.
And in 9th currently we have Giovanni Santorame, one-off drive for the Doug Shearson Racing Domino's Pizza entry number 30. Decided to sign up because he felt he couldn't miss Road America. He really enjoys this track. Which is good to see and hear. I personally enjoy watching races as Road America, but I'm not much of a fan of driving it myself.
I enjoy driving it.
Pardon?
I enjoy driving it.
That's good. I'm one of the strange folks because I enjoy Knock Hill, which most people think is not a good track, so I think it's just one of those. Just one of those things.
The gap between your milks is below 2 seconds now.
Well, let's jump back to you guys. Actually, let's just finish off the car still running, because Raul Jereb is running in 10th now. Really good drive from the Croat. And the Dick Simon entry. Good, consistent, stable drive. Raul have done quite a few kart races and IndyCar races previously with us, but schedule changes for him has made it more difficult to partake in our races, but it's good to see him back tonight. And behind him, on track, we can see Drexler, currently running in 11th. Unfortunately, 1 lap down to Jereb, but still running, which is nice to see. Ooh, dearie me, as he tries just a bit too hard. Runs wide at turn 7, but is able to get the car back to the grey stuff and continue with his race. And Ray running wide at turn 6, trying to get to grips with Yannick. And the gap now 1.8 between Juha Bos and Richard Wilkes. And I notice at the front it looks like the gap has stabilized at around 3.5 seconds for the time being. Look at that, John Tim really running slow on this stint, having to save fuel. Also really able to make inroads on Richard Wilkes here. And both of them making inroads on John Tim up ahead. So this should be a 3-way battle within a few laps' time. Unless, of course, the AJ Foyt driver can make quick work of the Gallus car ahead. So it does look like up ahead in the meantime that Grant has decided to settle for 3rd. Was Juha really close to Wilkes there at turn 5.
Oh, he's off.
Wilkes
He's
wide.
off.
And looks like just barely Bos can make it by. And he holds on. 5th place for Bos, Wilkes down to 6th. And let's see what they can do, both of them, in terms of John Tim up ahead.
Well, if he's got more fuel over me, he's going to overtake me anyway again.
See you soon enough. Let's see down the front straight what happens.
What happens is me looking at my fuel readout and seeing numbers I don't like.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Hopefully you can get it under control and still keep a good pace.
I think I'm a liter short.
Meantime, 4 laps to go at the front, and the gap about 4.1 seconds at the line. Definitely still within touching distance, and around this point is where Anders previously was able to begin to close in on Grant and Kirsten in the previous stints. So let's see if Nilsson might be able to do the same again in this final stint of the race.
Dear. I think Wilkes is going to try in this next corner.
We definitely up the inside, side by side through turn 1. Bos holds on for now. Oh, and Wilkes again up the inside, this time makes it. That looked like a Bos saving fuel on into that turn, and Richard maybe not, so to speak. As Bos now up the outside, going down to turn 5. Ooh, just a bit of contact. Wilkes looks to be holding on for now.
Up!
Oh no!
Jesus, that was unexpected.
Unfortunately, the valve springs in Bos's Cosworth decides to call it quits. And
Damn it.
that's just one of those things in these races, unfortunately. Let's see, 3 laps to go at the front. What can Anders do in terms of Kirsten up ahead?
Not a shame. I was running it decently under temperature, so meh.
That's one of those I would put down to. Was it?
Bad luck.
Was it in F1 or something where one of the teams didn't properly fasten something recently? I seem to remember. Or I think it was like a practice session or something. One of the drivers had effectively to go out and then come right back in because the car wasn't doing what it was supposed to. It does look like Kirsten is safe, but there's still 2 laps to go at the line here, and lap traffic up ahead. I believe that's most likely to be Centorame indeed. I saw the red rear end, and as far as I'm aware, Santorum is the only driver left in the race with a red rear end to his car. That car ain't red in the rear at all, but I saw the red. Must have seen Kirsten's car and thought that was the lapped car. So Nilsson again, unfortunately, catching a car in effectively the wrong place. This is where Nilsson needs to be as quick as possible to try and catch back up to Kirsten. Nilsson is closing in, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough with 1.5 laps left in this race.
John Tim's running really slow now.
Oh, Tim has indeed dropped behind Wilkes even, so John Tim definitely trying to stretch the little bit of fuel he has left until the end of the race.
I'm really going to curse my Corsair engine. Really could have been 50 easily. That looks like being running on fumes. No.
Yes, indeed. Let's see, 2 point. Looks like it's going to be about 3 seconds at the line as our leader starts the final lap in this race. So Kirsten leading, he has put in a very good race, been up at the front from the start, battled hard with both Nilsson and Grant Widall. Looks like he will be coming out on top in this race, just ahead of Nilsson. Grant has definitely settled for 3rd place, dropping 30 seconds to the leaders in the last 10 laps. Clearly just driving to score points and, happily for him, extend his championship lead. So through the kink for the final time, up Kettle bottoms. Slight left kink and then into the braking zone, Canada corner. Nice and regular. Through turn 13 up the hill over the crest. Nice and secure. Into turn 14. And on to the start-finish straight, up the hill to the start-finish line. Winning the race tonight, Niklas Kirsten for True Sports. Very nice drive from Kirsten. Second for Anders Nilsson. Very good effort from both of them. Grant Widall with a few more turns to go. Let's see if there's any kind of burnouts. There are. Nilsson with the burnout. Nice to see. With what little fuel they had left. That is. Yep, just on the fumes. Grant Widall across the finish line to finish 3rd. And then we have Wilkes coming through in 4th, coming down Kettle bottoms towards Canada corner. Relatively quiet race from Richard Wilkes, but a good reward with 4th place as he comes across the line. Looks to be happy to finish where he is. And John Tim coming through the final couple of corners. Looks like he will just about be able to finish ahead of Janik and Ray Riddall. As here he comes over the crest, across the start-finish line, together for Ray Riddle. Ray Riddle has got past Yannick. Yannick out of fuel, I think. Owen
That was
Grant
Ray
with
there.
a flyby.
Ray with a flyby.
Oh,
Janik ran out of fuel.
Ray indeed with a flyby. My god, I've been saying the wrong name for both of the Riddles for quite a bit this race, but Brian Yannick unfortunately just out of fuel on the final couple of turns. So Ray 6th, Yannick 7th, Centurame finishes 8th, 9th for Raul Jereb, 10th for Michael Drexler. Unfortunately, late retirement for Juha Bos 11th, Fernandez 12th. Earlier retirees as well was Jason White, David Saber, Filippo Marazzi, and Jules Bouchard. Wow. While we wait to see if any of the drivers decides to come up into the booth, the trivia question for this evening was which driver holds the kart official race lap record at Road America, this 4.0 mile road course? Is it A. Alex Zanardi, B. Jimmy Vasser, or C. Sebastian Bourdais? I believe BL guessed for C in the form of Bourdais. Juha, do you have a guess or view on this?
I'll go with Bourdais as well.
Okay. I will say I wasn't sure when I saw the question, but I had a bit of a stab in the dark, and I myself got it right. It is A. Alex Zanardi who has the lap record set in 1998 with a lap time of 1:41.874, which, considering what we saw today with, I think the fastest was a flat 54, is incredibly quick. Doesn't look like any of our drivers wants to join us for a bit of a chat, so any final thoughts from your side, Juha, after this
Really
event?
enjoyable race. Should have been 4 laps shorter, but still fun.
Understandable. It was nice to see a good battle as well. Several good battles all the way through the grid as well.
Well, hopefully the next race next week in DRM will be just as fun.
Oh, indeed, indeed. Speaking of that, coming up is the final round, round 11 of 11 in the DRM Championship Division 2 1979, the Adak Westfalen Pokalrennen from mere names. Solder, thank you. My god. I need a new brain. Which should be a really good race, really. All things considered, and I believe the championship is still up for grabs in that series. It's not quite decided yet. And that will take place Sunday, August 3rd at 2000 CEST. Jason White will be in the booth calling that one. And then we will have let's see exactly how long. I believe it's just over a 1 month hiatus, a bit of a summer break for us to reload our batteries and get ourselves back in order and get everything sorted paperwork wise. And then at the moment, the next definitely scheduled event will be the Quake Estate 500 at the Pocono International Raceway. That will take place on September 7th, but I'm sure we will have races before then. Disregard my brain tonight. We will have 1 month hiatus, and that will be the next event on September 7th for the Quake Estate 500. Clearly it is too hot, and I was a bit flustered before we started the broadcast, so with all of that said, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching, despite my, shall we call it, derpiness at times during this broadcast. I hope the race was enjoyable to watch. It was really fun to call for me. Hope our drivers had fun driving it. Juha did at least, which is good. And see you all in a week's time for the DRM final round of that championship. Have a great week and take care and be kind to one another. Good night, everyone.